Hey, Josh Tigg, Running T Farms. Morning cattle move here. This is the last paddock in this 3-day sale. It's always wind up with an odd paddock as we're grazing out. We try to keep them very uniform and just have to deal with irregular shaped paddocks in that last move or two. Generally, I like to move them into a new 3-day grazing sale in the mornings, but and we will move them about 10 o'clock. But this last paddock here is just slightly larger than what it would normally be. It wasn't worth making 2 breaks out of it, so to speak. But we'll get this grazed off and we'll get it moved. So I'll do a little shot here right down where the poly wire was. We've grazed this down. I brought the old grazing stick out here just for some reference. So, you know, all the way down to about 2 inches. That's pretty good. Forage out here. If I set the grazing stick down without even pulling it up, you know, good solid 24, 25 inches of forage in there. So we're going to get that grazed off, utilizing just as much of it as we can. I thought I would take you a little walk here over the past few days here. So this, where we're just stepping into, this has about 6 days of recovery on it. It was grazed down to 2 inches, and I was discussing some stuff with people last night. There's always this misconception with a high harvest efficiency grazing that you don't leave anything to cover the soil, and that's just simply not the truth. I'm going to get down close. These areas where we have a very high harvest efficiency, there's no bare soil anywhere. The residual is a function of what's left behind. All that soil is covered because we had 24 inches of forage when we came in here. We can graze 90% of that, and 10% of that is still very adequate soil cover. So we always get a lot of trample on the soil surface and a lot of soil aeration, and as you can see, just manure pats, which they're getting gone everywhere we walk. Some dung beetles been working there, burying this down. So as we're going this way, we're actually getting less recovery on this paddock. We're probably down to about 5 days of recovery here, and like I said, very good soil cover. And we're fixing to I'm headed back towards my gator there, but we're going to go into the first 3-day sale that we grazed on our new spring growth. It's had 10 days of recovery at this point. And I don't know if you can see just how beautiful and green that is. 10 days of recovery on this very far end. When you're grazing at this high stock density, you don't cover a whole lot of ground fast. So, but I just want to show you this. I think we're about to cross into where it's had the longest recovery. This has been a 10 days of recovery, and this was grazed down just like that, down to 1 to 2 inches. And so, you know, there's some that's already back to 13, 14. You know, good solid 8 to 9 inches. It doesn't really matter where I stick this stick down. It's 8 to 9 inches everywhere. That's 10 days of recovery. So we've grew a good solid 6 to 8 inches of grass in 10 days with no fertilizer other than all of this manure that you see everywhere that's here. You know, we've probably got more than one manure pat for every square yard, and that's just the manure that you see. That don't take into account all the urine that you don't see. So this is not ready to graze yet, but it won't be long. So this is 10 days of recovery, grazed non-selectively. We were grazing at about 800,000 pounds of stock density per acre. And this is what the recovery looks like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I put this stick down. We're already back to, 8 to 9 inches of grass growth. Manure and urine everywhere. There's some common vetch, dock. This was primarily all Kentucky 31 fescue. And we know that from the past, we'll see that fescue back off and we'll see a lot more orchard grass and a tremendous amount of warm season grasses start to come in this mix just due to our management practices. But had some questions about regrowth. So there you go, from 2 inches to 10 inches in 10 days. And a very high leaf to stem ratio. If you'll notice, there's no stems in this. This will be some extremely high quality forage here in another probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks when we graze it. So just want to put this out there. You get so many people making assumptions about high harvest efficiency, non-selective grazing, high stock density, that you just denude the soil and that there's just nothing left, and recovery periods are years. It greatly depends on how the plant has been treated before that. So this was grazed one time during the growing season last year in the middle of a severe drought, late August, early September. And this was new growth that grew this spring. But that plant was not overgrazed. It was grazed non-selectively. It was grazed down to 1.5 to 2 inches tall in the middle of a severe drought. But it was allowed all the time it needed to recover. And it came out this year in just beautiful forage. We've already harvested 200 animal days to the acre on this first pass. We'll harvest very easily another 200 to 300 cow days per acre off of this during the growing season. So that's how we're able to maintain a very high stocking rate. And it's very high quality grass for what it is. It is Kentucky 31 fescue, but the regrowth here is all blades, no stems at this point. And we will likely graze it again, before it would start to put on seed heads, because it's going to have reached by that point adequate quality. The root reserves will be nice and stored back up. It'll be very well for animal performance, and it's just quite amazing. Tremendous amount of grass grown, manure and urine everywhere you look. I would like to see this manure broken down a bit more. The dung beetles are just getting going. Seem to be a little bit later this year for some reason. We've had dwellers, but I've just noticed the tunnelers starting to show up in numbers here in the last 4 or 5 days over where the cows are now. The dung beetles are working that fresh manure down into the ground very quickly. So that's very important. But hope everyone has a great day. As always, you can check us out online at runningtbeef.com. You can like us on Facebook at Running T Beef. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure and click that like and subscribe button on your way out. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day.